All right, what is going on? All you awesome freaks, Music of Destruction, back with another mobile video. Merry Christmas, Happy Yule, all that stuff. I don't really celebrate Christmas, but for those of you that do, awesome. Hope you have some fun with your friends and family. Get drunk, get stoned, or just have a good time with them and just be with them. As Ricky would say from Trailer Park Boys, one of the best shows ever made. No, you guys can't really see me tonight. So normally I'd be heading out to do some family stuff, but I gotta stay home and work. Need to make money. All right, so tonight I want to talk about the magic of analog versus digital. And so I guess I should start off by saying that I know that CDs are digital, but when we're talking about analog and digital, I'm more along the lines referring to production methods, but also recording methods. I love when bands use a 4 or an 8 track tape recorder, or some of them do reel to reel. Actually, you could still buy metal on reel to reel, which I think is very cool. And the reason that I want to talk about this is because the digital age is ruining the experience of being a collector in a lot of ways, because if it wasn't for underground labels and devouts, vinyl, cassette, and CDs wouldn't exist. So I thank all of those awesome people who still press physical media. But more than that, I think an analog production creates a better overall sound. And I think a better overall sound is important to not only the quality of your music, but also to separate you from everybody else, because you can tell when a band has used analog or digital production. At least I can. And maybe it's because I fucking grew up in the 80s and the 90s. I was born in 1980. I'll be 43 in September of 2023. So that's probably one of the main reasons I have such a large that's why I've got such a large attraction to analog, such a strong attachment, I should say, right? And why analog is way more attractive to me than digital. And I suppose I could understand if some of you, I know my beer is getting frosty, or my goatee or whatever. It's about 37 below zero here, so as you can see, I don't shy away from the cold at all. These are one of the best times to walk because it's really good for your body to walk in the cold. Just a bit hard. Just a bit hard on the lungs. Anyway, so analog production is superior in many ways because of the preservation of the original reel-to-reel recording. So when a band records reel-to-reel, if said band is not in charge of production, then the hired producer will record it to various formats, be that tape, CD, or record. But what's cool about analog is that the natural recording integrity is always preserved. Now when you go digital recording, it breaks up the audio into it's like breaks it up into pieces, right? Like think of it like a zipper, right? You have teeth on a zipper. That's what digital recording does. And you end up with losing audio. Instead of lossless audio, you have lost audio when you do digital recordings or production. Now, I'm not saying that there aren't bands that use... A lot of bands will record everything to tape and then put it onto a PC in order to mix everything, which I guess in of itself is okay, but I think there's a lost art to... oh look, sheep shit on the ground. There's a lost art form with analog, and I really want to see that continue to make a comeback. That's why I always prefer tape or vinyl. Now, the best sound quality is obviously vinyl. And then you have cassette, and then you have CD. And I suppose I could try to play the devil's advocate in here and say, well, a lot of people don't have the space to store records. Right? Because let's face it, records do take up a lot of room. Or maybe people just are like, oh, I don't have the space for tapes, or I don't have the space for CDs. So if they want to make those excuses, well, I guess if it's a valid excuse to them, that's their choice in the end. But for someone like me, who's a devout metal freak, I would rather have the challenge of finding the space than not buying physical media and not supporting analog production. MP3s and digital recording and production have ruined a lot of the spirit and integrity of the experience of metal. And I guess another thing is that nowadays, I mean, if you live in a big city, you still have record stores, but I don't live in a big city. We don't even have a music store here anymore. And that's one of the downfalls of MP3 and downloading, right? So it makes it harder for people in smaller cities to have that experience of going to the music store and going through records and CDs and saying, holy shit, what's this? And putting it on and listening to it and deciding if you're going to buy it or not. Now, I understand that in this day and age, people care about convenience. They want to just pull up their phone and listen to something instead of the experience of having to go out and find it, to go out and seek it out, to go out and actively look for it. We live in an age of instant gratification, and this ties into the next talking points of this video, which is that is why modern metal, other than the underground, has become such a dumpster fire. Now, you guys could see my other videos where I've talked about that. I don't want to get too far into that. But this all ties together with the entire experience of this art and the people behind it, the distributors, the producers, the small labels, the underground distros, the bands themselves that have that old school spirit, that are like, no, I'm not fucking doing digital. Give me a goddamn 8-track or a 4-track and let's go. Give me fucking reel to reel and let's go. Those are all important things. Now, I know to some of you that is strictly aesthetics. And some of you will say, well, aesthetics aren't important. So I'm trying to consider possible arguments to my points here by elaborating on some of the arguments that may come up and basically scenarionizing some of the points you may make, and I'm countering it with the points I'm making now. So if you want to live in an age of convenience and digital, and that's good enough for you, okay. But for people like me and other metal freaks that want to collect music and believe See, and I think and believe in it, but there's also a difference between metalhead and metal fan, right? Like, metal fans, they're the ones that are going to have everything downloaded. They might own a few CDs here and there, and of course, again, I'm speculating, but that's usually how it is. I'm not saying it's true in every case, but then you got metal heads. People like me and Ken's Death Metal Crypt and Adam Schnellenbach and TripX Gaming, who, by the way, thank you for joining the channel. Kyler, Justin, Isaac, Josh, all my awesome members. I can't name them all because there's so many now. But thank you to Kyler for joining the channel. Thank you, Nick. Thank you, Justin. And Lane. These guys are all in Cadaver Rights. All 4 members have joined the channel. Thank you so much, guys. Look forward to interviewing you very soon and reviewing Cadaver Rights' album, which I'm not going to reveal the title of because they haven't released it yet. They're going to be interviewed on the channel very soon. One of the perks you get for supporting, guys, is if you have a band and it's actually real metal, I'll interview you, promote your music, promote your live footage with playlists and everything, and link everything in my video descriptors where you can buy the band's stuff. And everything else I offer for just $5 a month, $2.49 for your first month. Anyway, thank you for over 2,000 subscribers as well. But I think I've covered some good points here tonight, and I just don't like certain things changing. And I understand that a lot of people might not have gotten the exposure to metal that people like me have because without these types of technologies where people could just click on their phone and download or listen to something. I understand that is perhaps a valid point, but I didn't do that. I sought out everything that I fucking bought and have and I'm passionate about. And I think, again, that's the difference. And I think that's why you see so many casual goons getting into metal, because they don't have to earn the way in. It's just like, oh, I'll just, it's the difference between walking into a fine establishment where you need reservations and walking into McDonald's. That's the easiest comparison that I came up with off the top of my head. Would you rather go to a 5-star restaurant or eat crap? That's how I equate digital to analog, downloading to physical media. And of course, the bands that are involved in each of those categories that are just like, no, we're just gonna release our music digitally. Some bands aren't even pressing physical. And we're not talking about the underground, because without physical, the underground wouldn't survive. And I'm just so grateful for devouts like that, like I said. And maybe I'm rambling here. I don't know. I don't really give a fuck. I always like doing these types of videos when I'm out for a walk. Just kind of free speak, off the cuff, and giving my thoughts on all the different facets of this music and what it means to me. So anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Like, comment, subscribe. We will see you for Album Review Tuesdays. Hails.